This is your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Tuesday, April the 10th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Police today nabbed a Bulgarian national who was wanted by lawmen in Antigua and Barbuda. 39-year-old Martin Mitrov Dashinsky was arrested on board the cruise ship MSC Fantasia around 8 a.m. Dashinsky was on bail in Antigua after being arrested and charged for electronic fraud and larceny in December 2017. He fled the jurisdiction to Guadeloupe, later journeyed to St. Lucia, and then to Barbados on board the cruise ship. Police say they are likely to repatriate Dashinsky to authorities in Antigua and Barbuda. Investigations are continuing. It was business as usual today at the state-run Barbados Water Authority after workers stayed off the job for some time yesterday, demanding an update on outstanding pay. Today, management met with workers and their bargaining agent, the Barbados Workers Union, at Solidarity House for at least 6 hours. When the two sides emerged, former BWU Sir Roy Trotman said the workers have no plans to stage protest. Meanwhile, BWA General Manager Keith Roy Halliday assured that the company will meet its obligations to workers. He, however, appealed to workers to hold strain to give the company more time to settle the matter.
I know sometimes when staff ask questions, or if they agree, or if they perceive that some ill intent is happening or being performed, that they may respond a particular way, and therefore what would have been shared, or what would have been, I should say, expressed in the media is not necessarily a full and accurate, is not rather a full and accurate reflection of what the salient issues are. But certainly we have agreed in terms of our discussion today that we still have that level of harmonious relationship, and that there are issues that from time to time will pop up that we just need to jump on. And today we re-examine some of our communication, today we examine some of what we've been happening, and just to make sure that we don't have perceptions or misconceptions out there in the public domain. Again, I just want to say that what happened yesterday really was just an internal meeting being held with staff. There were some that were a little aggrieved, and perhaps that was misconstrued, but certainly we are continuing on the basis that we have done so far over the last year, and we're continuing to build on that relationship.
Don't be so quick to write off the sugar industry. This advice from Chief Agricultural Officer Lennox Chandler as he addressed a field day by the ministry at his Graham Hall headquarters this morning. Against the backdrop of concerns about the late start of this year's sugar crop and declining yields, there have been calls for the country to abandon production. But Chandler said it's a perfect crop for Barbados, and the country simply needs to use science and technology to produce a wide variety of items from sugarcane.
If Barbados used to produce grapes, I don't know if we would have wine. We would just eat raw grapes, and we're not trying to figure out how to produce wine. We have sugarcane, trying to figure out what we can do with the damn sugarcane and stop just trying to abandon it. It's what we have, and it's what's suitable for us. Let us put our heads together and find out what we can do with sugarcane, come up with products that we can sell to the rest of the world. I mean, we're talking about agritourism, and people believe agritourism is only planting food and getting the tourists to eat in the hotel. We have a rich heritage based on sugarcane and sugarcane technology. Why not marry the sugarcane technology and our heritage, industrial heritage, with the tourist industry?
The Catholic community today celebrated the life of one of its own. Hundreds gathered at the St. Patrick's Roman Catholic Cathedral this morning, including church leaders from across the region, to say farewell to Father Peter Thomas Clark, who died late last month at the age of 86. Thomas, a devout Catholic, served the priesthood for 6 decades. Delivering the homily at the service of Thanksgiving, Archbishop of Port of Spain, Jason Gordon, said, Father Peter served the church and humanity well, left an inspiring legacy behind as well.
Father Peter was a priest through and through. And whenever he could not be as a priest was when he was most agitated. And whenever he could be a priest was when he was happiest. To hear confession, to celebrate Mass, to be available to God's people, to whatever it was, to be picked up early in the morning to go to Mass as living water. Whatever was asked of him, he was always happy to do that. And so to the end, he was faithful to his vocation, but I think also he was an inspiration to all of us of how to grow old gracefully as a priest and remain committed to this vocation and these sacred mysteries that God has placed in our hands.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now in Jamaica. Child pornography, cybercrime, and money laundering are major headaches for police in Manchester. Police say they will be redoubling efforts to stamp out the problems, and they are urging the public to be vigilant. More in this report from Television Jamaica.
Major crimes such as murders may be low in Manchester, but that's little comfort to cops. They are now working overtime to root out other criminal activities currently plaguing the parish.
Lottery scamming, ladies and gentlemen, is one of those issues that it has reared its head here. We have issues of kidnapping. We have issues of cybercrime, and we have issues of child pornography.
Another major issue, money laundering, believed to be fueling businesses in Manchester. Head of the Area 3 Police, ACP Clifford Chambers, says the lack of trust from citizens make it difficult for the police to tackle the upsurge in criminal activities.
At times, the ease at which information should be provided to the police also pose a challenge. There are oftentimes people want to provide information, want to be anonymous, of course, but the medium through which that can be provided is not there.
And on the international front, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg formally apologized to Congress today for mistakes that led to the Cambridge Analytica scandal. He stressed that his company is rethinking its responsibility to users and the society.
People come to Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger about 100 billion times a day to share a piece of content or a message with a specific set of people. And I think that that basic functionality, people understand because we have the controls in line every time. And given the volume of the activity and the value that people tell us that they're getting from that, I think that that control in line does seem to be working fairly well. Now, we can always do better. And there are the services are complex, and there is more to it than just, you go and you post a photo. So I agree that in many places we could do better. But I think for the core of the service, it actually is quite clear.
And that's news. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic evening.